to order today, Wednesday, August 9th. Time is 9:40 a.m. We will start with roll call.
Okay, Johnson will be joining us shortly. Wiper.
Here.
Markham.
Here.
Rahman.
Present.
Long.
Here.
Spiz.
Present.
Cannot remember if I said Miller, but he's absent with notice. Smith Charles.
Present.
You have quorum.
Terrific. Let us stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
It's his. I thought it was his too.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I thought it was Williams too. It's
He has
his.
Dodge, I have a G.
That takes us to item 4 on the agenda, which is approval of minutes dated July 26, 2023. Moved by Commissioner Spiz, supported by Commissioner Long. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and prompt that vote.
You have 6 yeas and 0 nays.
Thank you, that motion carried. Item 6 on the, or item 5 on the agenda is to approve it. Can I get a motion to do so? Commissioner Rahman moves, Commissioner Markham supports. And all hearts and minds are clear, we can go ahead and prompt that vote.
For now.
You have 6 yeas and 0 nays.
Great. That motion carries. Item 6 is public comment, and we are always grateful for any public who decides to come here to comment. That time is now. You have 3 minutes. Seeing that no one has identified themselves as a public commenter, we'll go ahead and close public comment. It takes us to item 7 on the agenda, which has 3 items. First is A, American Rescue Plan Act Grant Agreement for the Northwest Oakland Sanitary Drain. Moved by Spiz and supported by Long, and this is our recommendation to the Board of Commissioners from our committee. And good morning.
Good morning.
We'll start with you, Brian.
Yep, my name's Brian Coburn. I'm one of the managers of the Water Resource Commissioner's Office. I'm here on behalf of the Northwest Oakland Sanitary Drainage District. You may recall I was here in May 2023 for a lively meeting where we had the appropriation of funds for the first phase of the project. Since then, the Drainage District has negotiated an agreement with Genesee County and has executed that. So I'm back again because one of the requirements of the ARPA legislation is a subrecipient agreement, and that's an agreement between the Drainage District and the county, Oakland County, to track the funds, all the requirements for reporting and acknowledging that we received the funds and defining the use of the funds and providing a method to track them going forward. So the agreement that's before you today was approved by Corp Council. It was approved by the Drainage District back in July. And this is the final step for the project, so I'm just looking for approval, a recommendation for approval.
Good. Sounds good.
Great, and the funds are to be spent before the end of 2026?
Correct.
Very good.
Yeah.
Mr. Wiper.
I see it's in there.
Oh.
Two,
He beat me to it.
oh, go ahead.
Commissioner Spiz and then Commissioner Wiper.
I see 250 and there's no extra spending on the county's part. I see that's kind of redundant in there.
Yes,
Guaranteed we don't have to spend another penny,
I
right?
am not coming back for any more money for
Write that down.
But I mean, it's
that project.
right, I mean, it's
Qualifier.
it's a
After the
good,
May
it's a
meeting.
good project, but
After the
I
May
see that,
meeting, he's
that was
wanna
where the
come back probably, you know.
clarifications were, we want to make sure what
Correct,
was what.
correct.
And with ARPA funding, I guess that would probably make sense, right?
And the 250 was so we can get the match for the
Right.
earmark that we received from Slotkin's office,
Yes.
correct?
Anything else, Commissioner Wiper?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Spiz.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Brian, for bringing this in. And just want to say I'm in 150% support of this. I think it's a great project and it's a great transformational project for the northern part of the county. So thank you and I voted yes.
Ditto.
Commissioner Markham.
Thank you. I'm gonna support it. Generally, I'm not in favor of sprawl, right? This drain will encourage growth in the north part of Oakland County. And I think we have to be careful about how that's done. There's always gonna be growth. We want people coming to Michigan, we want people coming to Oakland County. We wanna make space for them, but I want us to be mindful going forward of what that looks like, so we don't, I live in an area that was created by sprawl. I fully admit that.
You do.
It could have been done better, is my thought on all of that. There are a lot of things that didn't happen with the planning of my part of the world that I think could have been done better, and I hope we're smarter now, 30, 50 years later, going forward with this kind of, call it a greenfield, right? It's an undeveloped area that we're gonna build infrastructure for. I want us to be mindful and thoughtful going forward of what that looks like. And I know as a county, we don't have a lot of control because it's zoning basically, which is local control. But I would like that message to get out there. This money is here to make the county better, but let's be mindful in how we plan for the future on top of the drain. Okay, so that was all my comments.
Yes, and especially having toured the water facilities last week, it's just, when we talked about that pipe that the semi truck could drive through and how, just all of the intricacies of this whole system, there's a whole world underneath our soil, under our feet, that most people are not aware of, so very important. And then I also read, because I don't see any more hands up, and Commissioner Markham,
I'm done.
okay, was just in terms of the report, a final report from the grantees due to the county, who makes sure that happens?
I believe it is through the fiscal department because of the requirements of the agreement, but we're gonna provide the report anyway to close out the project. So, and we can provide a report back to this committee if that's
Yeah,
desired
good.
also.
Chair,
Yes.
also our unit keeps track of all reports due by department. So if this passed today, it will go on our reporting capture.
Oh, great.
Good to know.
It is. Thank you for having our backs.
You're welcome.
All right, well, seeing nothing else, let's go ahead and prompt the vote. Thank you.
Because I feel we ask for all these reports, but we don't get all these reports. Maybe my perception is wrong.
We have 6 yeas and 0 nays.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
That was
Brian.
better than the last time.
You learn every time, right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Small number of
All right, let's
meetings for all of
open report 7B, reissuance of Series 2018 bonds, the Detroit Skating Club, Inc. project, City of Bloomfield Hills. Moved by Commissioner Spiz, supported by Commissioner Markham. And get my notes.
3.6
Oh, we have
million.
somebody popped up.
Catherine, or Kathy it looks like, good morning.
Good morning.
Let's have you
Thank you.
give us the background here.
Sure, absolutely. So Detroit Skating Club was a bond issued through the Oakland County EDC back in 2018. It's in Bloomfield. I don't know if you're familiar with the Detroit Skating Club, but it's got an excellent reputation, has produced Olympian athletes, even some that have medals. And back in 2018, we issued the bond for some renovations to the property, which included leveling ice, some underground HVAC that helps prevent frost, and some other renos. They did the actual financing piece with Bank of Ann Arbor on a 5-year note, and that note is now come due. So the bond has to be reissued, as that note is it's essentially like a balloon, and the note is now being extended. And due to that, it's called a reissuance, and we have to have a new public hearing per the IRS rules and the Public Act, and that's what we have before you today. Just want to state that there is no new money going out. Nothing has changed with the original use of funds. That stuff is all done. It's just merely Bank of Ann Arbor offering an updated term and amortization to the company.
Interest rate.
Figure skaters do that.
All right, any
Olympic one.
questions or comments from commissioners?
It's good.
I heard balloon and then I heard someone say arm. Can you just clarify?
Right, so their initial funding with Bank of Ann Arbor was for a 5-year note. And that 5 years is up. So they have to do a new note for the financing. So they're gonna get a new rate, a new amortization. It's still gonna be with Bank of Ann Arbor.
Okay. So,
It'll be another 5-year, right? Sorry to jump in.
go for it.
It is gonna be another 5-year. The outstanding balance is about 3.67 million and the original bond was for something. So they still have a hefty note out there.
Yeah. All right, and Kathy, just for edification.
Yeah.
Is this standard where entities come and do bonds with the county in particular? I've heard of a senior center in our area who did some bonds. So this is pretty, who would know to do this?
Sure. So the EDC of Oakland County, they're industrial revenue bonds that are tax exempt. For this particular program, the bucket of companies that qualify are solely manufacturings and not-for-profits. Detroit Skating Club falls into the not-for-profit category. The county's EDC is the issuing vehicle of the bonds. So the behind-the-scenes underwriting and banking is done with the bank of the company, in this case, Bank of Ann Arbor. But the county's EDC has done bonds with a lot of manufacturings and nonprofits through a whole variety of lenders. Not many do their original funding with just a 5-year note, so we don't have a ton of reissuances as that balance comes due and they're rewriting it. But it does happen from time to time. We had Cranbrook, I think it was last year, the year before, do something similar.
Thank you for that. Commissioner Rahman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If I'm understanding this correctly, it sounds like the financial relationship is between the skating club and, Bank of Ann Arbor. So we're sort of just the middleman. We're not on the hook financially for anything other than the fact that they're using our name to get this product. Is that my understanding?
You're correct. There's no financial obligation on behalf of the county. All of the financial, the actual money, so to speak, happens between the lender and the operating company. However, EDCs have to exist in order to issue the bonds to take advantage of that tax exempt status. So there's EDCs all across the country, and there's even a couple of independents with municipalities in Oakland County that have their own EDCs to issue these.
So in the unlikely situation they default, for something just goes awry.
Yep.
The liability on the part of Oakland County in that situation, if something were just to go off plan?
There's none. That's between Bank of Ann Arbor and the company. There's no financial concern for the county itself on that or obligation.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Sure.
Rahman. Commissioner Spence?
Yep, just to add to that, I think everybody's aware, but just to put it out for everybody. Yes, they take advantage of tax exempt status, but using the county's AAA bond rating, they get lower interest rates out in the marketplace than they would if they went out on their own. So I shouldn't say a lot, but some organizations or companies take advantage of that to save themselves money.
Very good. Thank you for that. Commissioner Weipert?
And I know the interest rate isn't determined until you get closer to the issuance or closing on it, but
Right.
what's the trend compared to 18 and 20?
Yeah, I can't say because there hasn't been a lot of new bond activity with new closings and fundings to say what rates are at. Prime right now, so Wall Street Journal Prime is 8.5%. One would suspect because bonds are typically used by more upper tier as far as credit goes companies, it should be below prime. I just can't say for sure where recently they closed. Back in the day, they could have been at like 3% or so.
Right.
It'll be done.
I mean, the new interest rate's gonna be based on the 5-year treasury rate plus the spread, right? So, but
Right, and the 5-year treasury is at, I think, 5 something.
Okay, I appreciate
But
it.
Bank of Ann Arbor could have other methodology that, for their comfort level and underwriting processes for how they determine the rate.
All right, thank you.
That's cute.
Thank you, Kathy. Very helpful. Anything else, commissioners? All right, we can prompt the vote for this.
Thank you.
I didn't mind you all day like that.
In reverse camera, it would be me, right?
We have 7 yeas, 0 nays.
Thank you, that motion carried. So with
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With that passing, I do need to announce that the August 9th, 2023, well, let me just announce it, I'll read it. August 9th, 2023 EDI committee meeting has approved the reissuance of Series 2018 bonds, the Detroit Skating Club, Inc., Project City of Bloomfield Hills item. So therefore, we are setting a public hearing for the Oakland County Board of Commissioners meeting on August 17th, 2023 at 6 p.m. for the reissuance of those Series 2018 bonds for the Detroit Skating Club, Inc., Project City of Bloomfield Hills. Okay.
It might be up for first one.
Next item is 7C, Courthouse Auditorium Air Handling Units 10 and 11 Replacement Project, moved by Commissioner Rahman, supported by Commissioner Markham. And I'd like to make sure I have my names correct. Joseph,
Good
thank
morning,
you.
Commissioners.
Thank you.
Joe Murphy, Manager of Facilities Maintenance and Operations. I'm here today before you. We've got this project that we identified in our capital improvement plan for this year regarding the 2 air handlers units that were mentioned. They feed most of the office spaces around here in the hallways in this building. 30-year-old equipment, non-efficient. Technically really ran out of duct tape to keep these working at how they should be. So we went out to bid for this project. Bids came back. Lowest competitive bidder was Limbach Company out of Pontiac. Total cost of the project is $584,485 with the consulting fees for mechanical and electrical for $11,000. There's a 20% contingency and an inflationary contingency of 5%. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Joe. All right, looking around, letting that digest in the brains of my committee. Air conditioning units, always expensive. Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What would be the life expectancy of the new units?
25 to 30 years. So we've got a really good maintenance staff over here. That's why we went over at the time, those units were probably only 20-year life expectancy, but our team does a really good job of keeping those up and running. But we're at a point now that they're struggling.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Spiz, I saw the hand, but it disappeared.
I pushed it and pushed it again, but, thank you, Madam Chair, first off. Joe answered one of my questions is what if we don't do this, with it being 30 years old and you have it held together with duct tape, I think you said.
Yeah, basically finding parts are very,
Finding
very
parts and
difficult.
equipment is difficult and maintenance will be difficult and eventually it'll stop operating, so you wouldn't have AC in this part of the building, which I don't think would make our employees too happy, especially during the summer years. So I'll be in support of this, but I just want to put that on.
Thank you, Commissioner. And we're doing this at a timing where we gotta, alternate the units that are down so they're not both down at the same time, and we're doing it in the fall. So we're hoping to take advantage of that weather so the conditions aren't too extreme, and we'll coordinate that with all the staff in here and how we're gonna move forward with it.
Thank you. Commissioner Markham, followed by Whitebird, followed by Rahman.
I wanna go.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm gonna support this and for all the same reasons, you have to keep up your equipment. And one question would be, I'm assuming that this is the most energy efficient kind of equipment we can get and it's part of the whole improvement of our
Sustainability goals.
sustainability and all of that. It's all been factored into
Yes, it
that.
has, yep.
Okay, I have one other comment that's kind of unrelated to this, but since you're here. So yesterday, we had HR here, and there was a person from HR in a wheelchair. And we have no accessible bathroom in this building, and I know there are plans to make one, so I guess I'd like to know when that's gonna be.
Yep, I believe that plan has been moved forward on our other side of the house with FPE. I've known that they've already done environmental into this bathroom here to see, what needs to do before construction is done. So I would have to follow up to see where that is with Jason Warner. Cause I thought that one went through already and that they were moving forward with it, just doing a lot of the preliminary investigations before they do construction, but I would have to verify that.
just take the message back that we are very anxious for that, cause it's embarrassing every time someone shows up here and there's no bathroom for them, so.
I do know that the project managers have been out here and have done their site investigation of environmental issues that they might run into when they start taking down walls and partitions, so.
Okay, great, thank you.
I believe it was Commissioner Whiteper.
No, all my questions have been answered.
Okay, Commissioner Rahman, followed by Commissioner Law.
Thank you.
Mine's answered too, take me off.
Okay.
When asked about the efficiency.
Yeah, just one quick one. I anticipate this was an anticipated cost, right? Being that it's transferred from capital improvement
Yes.
program, right? So we knew this was coming. And then the other question I had for you is, we talked before the meeting about, control of your temperature, things like that. So I wanna confirm too, or at least put on the record that there is going to be some ability for us to have better control of
Yeah.
temperature with this new unit?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
cause that's perennially an issue, at least in this room. I don't know
It
about the rest of
is.
the building, but I know everybody's always.
It's nice in here, I don't know
Oh,
where.
I'm freezing in here all
He's
the
not in
time.
here at 1
I know.
o'clock and 2 o'clock.
It gets
though.
colder as it
Yeah,
gets
so just so that we have some ability, and not even just for our room, but I presume throughout the building and
I
wherever
agree.
else this is gonna be taking effect.
Yep, they're updating valves, dampers, ductwork, installing that into the BMS system, the building management system, so that, they'll have a lot better control over the environment in those zones that also impact this zone over here too.
Perfect. And it looked like the time frame it said it isn't even starting for 2 months, is that correct?
Once this goes through, they'll be ordering equipment right away, but they'll be doing a lot of prelim work to get ready to make sure that when they do get in here, that we're,
Okay.
10 days in and out, hopefully is the plan for each unit. Stuff happens, we gotta coordinate between meetings and office schedules, but
So one thing I wanted to clarify, cause it says in here, it takes roughly, if I'm reading this correctly, project with a time frame of roughly 16 to 20 weeks to complete, right? So presuming this is happening the fall into winter, that doesn't have any effect on the heating system, this is just cooling, air conditioning, or is it?
correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Rahman. Commissioner Johnson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Perhaps a sensitive question. So Pontiac City Council authorized our purchase of the Ottawa Towers and the Phoenix Center last night. And I know that the executive's office has signaled that about 3 of our buildings, so they have not told us which ones those are, can be consolidated into Ottawa Tower 2. I'm not suggesting that this building is one of those, but I just wanna make sure that I don't want to spend $500,000 buying something we're not gonna use after 2 years. I guess that's my question.
Understood, and I had that same thought process as well, and I did talk to, our director. And although the conversations with commissioners of what buildings are gonna move or not gonna move, may or not may be anything over here, but the space is gonna be used. And it's gonna be designed so that those hallways and those office spaces will be used by somebody. So, it's not gonna go to waste if something happens to this building and they move things out.
Good question.
Thank you. Commissioner Smith?
And to build on that question, no matter what building it was, we would still have to maintain it to a level, especially if we're gonna sell it. Because even when you go to a sales agreement, they find out those units are bad, you're gonna have to replace them anyway. Right, so unfortunately, it's something we have to do.
I hope we
Good
don't sell
point,
it.
Commissioner, thank you.
It's kind of a cool
That
building.
we're just gonna tear it down, to be honest.
Now, that's a different
No.
discussion.
Right.
Then you can recoup the unit, but for something else.
Anything further from the committee? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and prompt the vote. Do you prefer Joe?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yes,
Joe's up, this is when he gets in trouble,
Yes.
right? I have a
Carries.
Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Joe's when he's in
Thank you very
trouble.
much. I will be calling in for finance. I know there's a big agenda. I want to be
Oh,
back at
okay.
the office to take stuff through, so I'll be online.
Perfect, that's good.
Just to give you
A lot of us are on there from here, so
Yeah.
we should be good.
Thanks for that
Thank you.
heads up. All right, well,
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
See you later. Moves us right into our second public comment.
Go down.
And I am double checking, don't see any members from the public who are here to make comment. That takes us to other business. Do we have any other business before this committee?
No,
Seeing none, then our meeting stands adjourned.
we can leave this one.